Breaking news just coming in. Iran has said that the transition process following the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei will begin today. Ali Larijani, the head of Iran's top security body, said that an interim leadership council will be soon formed. He said that the president, the head of the judiciary, and a jurist from the Guardian Council will assume responsibility until the election of the next leader. Larijani was a close advisor to Khamenei, and some see him as a successor. Larijani also warned against that attempts to divide Iran following the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in U.S. and Israeli strikes. He also vowed on Saturday to teach an unforgettable lesson to the United States and Israel. All right, to discuss more, we're now being joined live by West Asia analyst Dr. Avner Cohen from Ontario, California. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Well, in the latest, what we know is Trump has now warned back. Our IRGC, of course, had warned of attacks and also have started attacks on these Gulf states, many it's Bahrain, Doha, and Iraq. And Trump has again warned back against these retaliatory strikes. Where do you think this is going?
Well, it's difficult to say right now. Their attack on Israel have not been successful, even though it was bothering in the sense that for the last few hours it was ongoing, but it was a drip rather than barrage of missiles, and only one actually fell and made a major destruction, major damage. So on the Israeli side, so far, their counteroffensive is not very impressive, to say the least. On the Gulf state, it's a little different. It's near, but at the same time, I think there is a clear sense that Iran has been humiliated. Iran has lost a great deal, and Iran has lost much of its leadership. So at this point, it's still difficult.
We have some difficulty in getting your voice. We'll try and get back and connect with our guest, Dr. Cohen, right now. But what we know right now is that Iran has said that the transition process following the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei will begin today. Now, Ali Larijani, who is the head of Iran's top security body, has said that an interim leadership council will soon be formed. He said that the president and the head of judiciary, as well as a jurist from the Guardian Council, will be assuming responsibility until the election of the ex-leader. What we know is while this transition happens, there are also attacks from the IRGC towards Gulf states where U.S. air bases are located. What we know right now is that there has been a warning from Trump already, who has now warned against any attack from Iran, which is in retaliation to the ones that U.S. and Israel did against Iran. Now, what we also know, we have a statement coming from Israel's defense minister, who has now hailed the killing of Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei in these joint strikes. He called it justice has been served. This is all happening while Israel attacks these military sites in Iran. While IRGC is retaliating with attacks on U.S. bases across Gulf states in retaliation for this massive U.S.-Israel attack that has killed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. You know, Ali Khamenei, a person who has of significance not just for Iran but for the Muslims of the world. Of course, we'll have to see what kind of retaliation we see going forward. So far, IRGC has already begun its attacks in the Gulf states. Now, we know that Iranian security officials have said that a transition period follows Khamenei's death is going to be beginning today. It will be led by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. All right, Dr. Cohen, of course, apologize for this, hindrance. But yes, we were talking about, what goes forward. This looks like it's expanding, and there is a warning from IRGC. There's a warning from Trump, but of course, on ground there is no abatement. We see these attacks happening. So where is this leading us?
As I said to you before, it's difficult exactly to say. Part of it is the fact that Iran is fighting essentially 7 fronts.
Right.
Israel, the United States, and essentially the entire Gulf states in a way to impress them, in a way to change their policy. The attack on Israel has been failing because except one destruction, one missile that indeed hits Israel, Tel Aviv, in a destructive manner, all the others were intercepted, so no damage was made, and Israel is holding itself pretty well. It's a little different with the Gulf. So it's very much depends on the perceptions of the war so far. It's just about 24 hours. I think so far there is a sense that the United States and Israel are winning. And the fact that in the first wave, Israel has able to essentially to eliminate so much of the leadership, military, civilian, and at the top, the Ali Khamenei, the supreme leaders, that's already is a strong perception of what's going on. We'll see how it will continue.
Right. And talking of Khamenei, he's a leader who, as I just mentioned a little earlier, that he's not just Iran's leader, he was a leader of the of Muslims across the world. What kind of consequence does that have globally? I'm talking about the death of Khamenei.
So far, the Hezbollah, even though they had committed themselves to respond, they have not. The Houthi in Yemen have not. In Iraq, maybe there was one effort to retaliate. So far, I think there is a sense that the Shiite world has been stunned. They didn't expect that. The fact that so much of the leadership was eliminated in one strike with such an intelligence has been really impressed many in the region. Now we know actually that MBS in Saudi Arabia, essentially he was actually pushing the United States to attack as well. This was not known before. The Washington Post has just makes it to be public. So it very much depends on the perceptions within the region which are started to be shaping.
Right. And when we talk about comments coming from Ali Larijani, who is, of course, the next leader that everyone was expecting to take over, he's also talked about how Israel is seeking partition. When we talk about the goals of this attack, for U.S., of course, Trump had announced that he was that Khamenei has been killed, and the Iranians should take this as a chance to take over. So what is the goal that U.S. has? And when it comes to Israel, Israel has been attacking the leadership, the military officers. They're targeting these officers. So where do you see, is there any kind of, equation in both of the countries' goals? And if what is the goal that we're looking forward for?
I think the desired goal is, as you stated, it's very much a regime change. To do it from the air alone, it's very, very difficult. You need to have some support on the ground from Iranians people. The understanding is that both CIA and Mossad have tried to do things. We do not know how much. So it very much depends what will happen in the next few days. I do not think that President Trump is ready to take this war more than 2 or 3, maximum 4 days beyond that. He wouldn't say it openly, but it's quite clear because that war is not very popular in America itself. So a great deal depends what would happen, whether it's going to be massive desertion from the Iranian army, to what extent the Revolutionary Guard will keep itself organized and faithful to the Ayatollah regime, to the autocratic regime. There is still a great deal of unknown. And remember, we're just about 25 hours after the whole thing just started.
And considering that, when we talk about regime change, how do you analyze the role of the Iranian regime? Because if Khamenei is eliminated, there were talks about, even before last year when the 12-day war happened in June, that there was listing of the potential successor of Khamenei. How do you assess the role of regime? And is it, like, if Khamenei is eliminated, does that mean that, yes, there is a power in Iranian people that they can overtake this regime? How do you assess this Iranian regime hierarchy?
Well, we do not know a great deal about that. So far, they were able not to nominate any successor, but rather to have a kind of committee of number of people, several people, to be the replacement of the current replacement for the time being. We do not know what's going on, what kind of power struggles takes in between. We do not know if the next successor is going to be, and what would be the method to elect that. It's not clear whether the expert council would continue to be the part of that. So there is a lot of unknown. Iran itself right now is under shock. It's under pressure. It has been hit very, very badly, and we'll see in the next few days how is this interim governance system continue to function. We do not really know. We'll see that.
Would you call this a success on the part of U.S. and Israel when they have eliminated Khamenei?
No doubt about that. I mean, the fact that the expectation was that he would be hiding, that he would take protection himself, and apparently from the little we know by now is that the very timing of this attack had to do with a very specific information about gathering. There was two specific gathering in compounds in the center of Tehran of two groups of the leaderships, and those gathering were attacked, and the result is amazing. So it's not Khamenei alone who was eliminated. Quite a few others, including the commander of the Republican Guard, including the Minister of Defense, including a number of intelligence people and the like. That's quite impressive. And the fact that Israel was able to get actually evidence, visual evidence, to confirm the fact that Khamenei was killed by the form of some kind of evidence that was shown either by satellites or by other moving from the head or by spy or intelligence. That's kind of amazing.